What's up, everybody? Welcome to Something Awesome. I'm Mike, that's Rick. And as you know, we're a podcast that lives on the corner of nostalgia and new, where we don't necessarily talk about the newest things that are super relevant or the oldest things, but we're somewhere in the middle. Today, however, we're going to be talking about something newish while Rick does his best silent Bob over here.
Yeah. So sorry for leaving you hanging out last week. Bit of travels, bit of busyness. But we got some relevant stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Like you said, we do have a movie to talk about.
That's right, a movie.
Yeah.
Even though, as of recording, the SAG strike is still going on.
Tentatively off.
Right.
Until they vote.
Right.
Because they did come to the table. They did make a negotiation.
Yes.
It's just now up to the SAG members to vote.
Right.
If they're going to accept this deal or not accept this deal. So currently, as of the date of 11/17, I don't know. I looked at my wrist. They're working on it.
Yeah.
But that means we can talk about a few things here and there.
Well, but this movie was also fully independently made.
This movie was independently made. This movie was also done before the strike as well too. And another thing about A24, who did this, they also did Tusk.
They distributed.
Yeah.
Can't fucking talk today. They distributed this movie.
Correct. And like I said, they did Tusk.
Yeah.
They even when they were on strike, this company adhered to all of their demands. So even whatever was negotiated now, like they adhere. That's why some of the A24 productions were able to go back into production.
They were able to keep going
because they paid everyone what they wanted. They, gave the actors what they wanted and the writers what they wanted, so they were able to move forward.
It's a lot easier for independent film companies to do that because the independent actors and actresses also
a lot smaller of a ladder,
and they also know we can't be over here asking for millions of dollars because it's an independent. A24 is on that bubble now, though. They're pretty big.
I mean, they're big,
company,
but they haven't been bought out by
they're still independent. Yes.
Yeah, they haven't been bought out yet by a big major, like Warner Brothers or anything like that. That's why they can spend so little, take their time, make a quality product.
Yeah,
that will show revenue if it's a success.
Right.
So, just look at like Saw, or any other small indie film. Only like Napoleon Dynamite, for example, even that was such a small budget and it turned into millions.
Yeah.
But anyways, going off on a tangent there, but yeah, Talk to Me is the film we're going to be discussing today.
Made by YouTubers.
Rucka Rucka is their YouTuber handle.
Yeah. I had no fucking idea who these people were.
Same. And I'm big on YouTube. Same.
But I do know some people I know that when this movie got announced as being released coming this past summer, they were like, "Oh shit, that's the YouTubers that made that movie." And I was like, "Who?" And I was like, "How the fuck do they have like 6 million subscribers?" And I don't know. Like, it's so weird. The YouTube economy is so weird to me because there are so many channels out there that have millions and millions and millions of subscribers that I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Never heard of them. My son, when he was younger, used to watch this channel called Popular MMOs, and they had millions of subscribers, and I had no idea I'd never heard of them. And I was like, this is so weird that there's so many different types of content out there, really, or content creators out there that I've never heard of that have millions and millions of subscribers.
Yeah,
it's insane.
That boggles my mind sometimes, where you get like a bunch of people that just have, or a bunch of YouTubers out there that have millions of following.
Yeah,
you just don't know about. And then it gets kind of wider because of like different countries. Like they're from Australia. So like, maybe it's just generated to like. I don't know. There's a whole conspiracy on that, which is I don't want to get into that.
All right.
But yeah, it's cool though when you do find something like this, especially when you got two YouTubers who The video I sent you where he
Yeah.
shows that like they pretty much just love making movies since they were kids.
Yeah. Which I
'Cause-
watched, by the way. And it was the video I watched was their trip to Sundance
yeah,
and selling the movie to A24.
yeah. They had a small little like reel of them coming up from like doing these short little backyard
Yeah.
films to like
Some backyard wrestling videos in there.
yeah,
too,
some
which I
backyard
thought was-
wrestling videos.
I was
in
like,
there, too.
okay, all right.
And then just to like now and showing how far they've come, and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It's
So
really
like
cool.
seeing things like this is always nice. But yeah, Talk to Me film, distributed by A24. Basically stars people I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Never
And
heard
they're
any
all
of the
Australian
people.
actors.
Yeah, they
They're
all made it there,
That's
yeah.
what I love is great. I love that about it. I think that's great that they made it there. And they even said in that video you sent me to watch that like they almost made this movie with a couple of major studios, but creatively they were just too far apart. They wanted them to not shoot in Australia. They didn't want them to use Australian actors or have Australian accents. And they were like, "No, man, this is like who we are. We're making this movie for us, not for anybody else." And it ends up paying off in the long run, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
They said it took them a year to make,
Mhm.
and then
during the pandemic, I believe.
yeah, and they even said like in that video, like it was cool that they got like text messages from Jordan Peele and
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, and then like how the fuck did they get our phone number? This is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that video shows like, oh, like we got a meeting with was it Bad Robot? Not Bad Robot.
Oh yeah.
James Wan.
Yeah, James Wan.
James
His
Wan
company.
Yeah. And it's like just seeing their reactions, just their minds just being blown. Like I love seeing that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when it's two small people like this. Well, small for
It came from YouTube. It's
yeah.
small. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not backed by a big studio or a big distributor or big
But
companies.
it's just weird because of how many fucking followings they have.
Yeah.
That's why it's like it's small, but they're not small. They're not small on YouTube, but
Right.
they're small in the film industry.
I
guess you
did
could say
like
that.
in this video how not only did they have the reel beforehand of like the stuff they did since they were kids, but it also had like what they like to do, like their effects. Like this, they use this
How they
video
evolved.
as a way to kind of show what they do on YouTube while talk about selling their movie, which I thought was really cool. How they kind of showed their personalities and their editing tricks and their compositing and the way they do things.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
when-
and even the film that they were doing at Sundance had a few of that stuff there too. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. Talking about stuff like this just makes me so happy to see people get their chance, kind of like with the short with Lights Out, director David Sandberg, I believe is his name. Did the Lights Out short, and then the Lights Out movie.
Yeah.
And then he became the director for Shazam,
Yeah.
But like, I love seeing that progress, and yeah.
I mean, even when it doesn't end up in a big way either, even when it just translates into people in views or something going quote viral on YouTube, like when we used to watch Film Riot all the time and seeing the short moves that Ryan Connolly and his crew were making. And it's like, you and I were always like, why does this dude not have a fucking studio deal? Look at this shit he did with like no money. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that drives me nuts. Like, I haven't watched any of their stuff in so long.
Yeah.
I really need to go see what they're doing now. But,
and then in other cases, it does end up in a big deal because I remember you and I like fucking high-fiving and being super excited when Dan Trachtenberg signed his 3-movie deal with Universal because we don't know him, but it felt like, oh man, the homie did it. Like, because we've been watching him for almost 10 years at that point before he got that deal. And then seeing his Portal short film and like the stuff that he had done. And it was like, fuck yeah, dude. They made it. Like, it was just really cool. And he went on to do 10 Cloverfield Lane. And he's doing other stuff right now. Like
Prey.
Yeah.
Did you see Prey?
No, I haven't watched it yet. But I need to.
Dude.
But
So
yeah,
good.
and he did Prey. And like the stuff he's done has been like critically like acclaimed. Like, this guy is really good. And he is. And he knows how to tell stories visually. And it's really cool to see.
Yeah, Prey is shot so well to like, if you've seen any of his stuff, like there's just certain things we got to watch that movie. I dissect it because there's like certain things. In there
I need to have
you
see.
Like, he's just such a good director.
So yeah, and like and again, this is we didn't know who Rucka Rucka was at all, but it's really cool. Again, it's just really cool to see someone who like lift themselves up by their bootstraps and built a community and built a following, and then get to make a movie like this and have it be received so well, like for it being their first thing. And it's really like we talked about this on a previous episode where I was like, I love seeing directors' first thing.
Yeah,
and I love seeing it. And I especially love seeing it when they do their first thing and it's like, and there's a lot here. There's a lot of ability, there's a lot of talent. And like, I know it's totally 100% biased on our part, but with Ryan being a friend of ours, and seeing his first shit before we knew who he was.
Yeah.
And seeing his Y the Last Man short film and us being like, this is really fucking good. And then seeing his first feature and going, man, this is really, really good. And like, I would love to see Ryan blow up
and
like this.
Yeah, like, and I really like when he sends me stuff to read. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, going back to Rucka Rucka, these guys, Danny and Michael, I'm not even going to try to pronounce their last name.
Even. I'm not either. Oh, yeah, no.
I'll put it right here. I apologize. I doubt they'll even watch this, but I apologize. I'm just terrible pronouncing names. But yeah, Danny and Michael wrote and directed this. Actually, I'm only seeing Danny here as a writer. Danny, Bill, Heinzman, and Dale, based on the concept by Daley Pearson. But directed by Danny and Michael.
Yeah.
This, like, I really wanted you to watch it because this feels like a really unique film.
Yeah.
That hasn't been seen in a long time.
Right. It has its issues, and I have a lot of problems with it, but it was really nice and refreshing to see an original take on something. Like, I know there's been other movies like Fallen with Denzel Washington with spirits passing from person to person. It Follows with things passing from person to person. Like, bro, come on. I do my homework on this shit. Fallen you should see, by the way. It's really fucking good.
Better than what I come up with.
So
I told you.
Yeah.
Flatliners and go.
So it's not a wholly original concept of a spirit or an entity passing from person to person, but their take on it is what was original.
Yeah.
And it's a modern take on a Ouija board.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
And the idea of, so like the whole Ouija board deal with everybody touching the thing and it moving or whatever, you feel like connected to it. But having it be a fucking severed ceramic hand and you're literally embracing like that. I'm getting chills. Like you're adding welcoming a physical touch to the thing. Yeah, it's so well done. And by the way, this is gonna be a full spoiler.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're assuming you watched this already.
Rick will tag it. He usually does. He's really good about that stuff. Full spoiler fucking review and discussion. It's not really a review. We don't do reviews. We do discussions. Yeah. And we talk about what we like and didn't like or whatever.
But if you want a review, to me, 5 out of 5, fantastic.
I say that this is a must-watch movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as great as you think it is. I think it's very good. I think it's shot amazingly well. I love the effects work and the makeup work and everything is great. I have problems with some of the story but we'll get to that.
That should be our rating. Must watch.
Yeah, must watch. Definitely must watch.
Must watch. If you feel like it, stay away.
If you were dying for an original concept in a horror / psychological thriller type of movie, this is a must watch. Yeah. Whether you end up loving it or not, this is a must watch movie. Just because of the story of how it got made. Come on now.
Because this is just definitely a film. Again, we're assuming you've already watched it, so we're jumping right into it. This is a film that I think that's going to be part of like current horror wave.
Mm-hmm.
With like Hereditary and The Conjuring and this film. Um, plus pretty much every other A24 films that are coming out that are horror. Blumhouse even.
Yeah, even going back, like that one movie, Unfriended. Or,
Unfriended was good too.
Cam was good, and that was a fucking scary kind of movie.
Cam was twisted, yeah.
Yeah. So like this is a modern take. And again, all these movies we've just named are not original concepts, but they're original takes on the concept.
Yeah.
And that's something I really, really appreciate about
Hollywood misses.
Yes.
And that's why we love watching independent filmmakers, because they can, done right, they can take that concept and make it original, like this film. You're talking about the way it grabbed the hands.
Yes.
Like a Ouija, the Ouija board was perfect analogy right there.
Yeah, because again, when you're
they're at a party and they're playing with a hand.
And when you're a dumb, idiotic kid, you do the Ouija board chasing that fucking buzz of, is this fucking really happening?
That high.
And they framed the handshake as like a high that they were chasing. And I thought that was really fucking cool, man. Yeah. Really cool. Really good concepts, really good ideas.
Grabbing that first time you see it, like grabbing the hand.
Yeah.
Like they tell you the rules of it. They light the candles. You grab the hand. You say, "Talk to me." And then, the spirit will appear. And then you have to say, "I let you in."
Yeah.
And then that spirit basically possesses them. And you basically get like a high off of it. It's basically almost like drug-like high. Which is why everyone's going around the table doing this. And once they're in, I think they have like 90 seconds or something.
That's
like
what
that.
before you go crazy.
It stays with you and it takes over. And then you got to blow the candles out to release the entity, the ghost, the demon, whatever your theory of what it is.
And that's where some of my issues come in with it. Because the lead, Mia, who was fantastic, by the way.
She's amazing.
Really fucking good. And in that video, but where they're at Sundance, and one of the guys says it to her, "You're about to fucking blow up." Because everybody who sat down and watched this movie and is messaging us is talking about you. And you carry this movie. You're about to fucking blow up. And if she doesn't, there's something wrong with Hollywood, man. Because she is the best part of this movie. And she really carries it. But with the rules they put in place, this is where I have some issues with some of the storytelling. So, obviously, these spirits, they even show it with the little brother.
Yes.
Before he does the thing. Like, these spirits are sticking to people like out of the gate, no matter what, no matter how long or who's involved, because he wasn't even involved the first time. And there's that scene where he's he's watching his phone and he's asleep, and you see the hands take the earbuds and they're regular hands and the phone. And then you see this fucking gnarly, gross hand touching his ear. And I was like, wow, okay. And it's not a jump scare, which is great because they could have relied on jump scares. They do it like once or twice. And it's the first time you see what's on the other side of the hand, which I thought was really cool that they showed that. And I also thought they showed great restraint. There's that whole sequence where everybody's doing it multiple times and they don't show creatures every fucking time.
Like hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they don't show it from their perspective on the other side. You see it very limited.
Yeah.
And then so these spirits are still sticking. So their rules have no fucking bearing on what is actually happening. The rules they set out have no bearing on what's happening because these spirits are sticking around no matter what. It's the interaction alone. And I don't think they go, because they have the conversation with the brother. Oh, we got to talk about the opening in a minute, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So they have a conversation with the brother later, and he's talking about how, it messed his brother up and it stuck with him no matter what. And they don't go deep enough into that. And I wish they would have. But at the same time, I totally get you got to move the movie along. It's an original story. You don't want to
be curious.
And you don't want to spell everything out either. Yeah. Because as you see in the end, maybe there's more of these. Maybe there's more movies in this. I don't I don't think it's necessary.
It was only one hand. Everyone has two.
But you could easily do it. And they even mentioned earlier that there's the other one is out there somewhere or some shit, like just as a throwaway line. But we're out of fucking order here. Let's go back and talk about that opening. I am a sucker for a good one take follow shot. I love a long take and a follow shot. And man, do they fucking nail it. Because we've talked about this with other movies where it feels like you as the viewer are also at this party at the beginning trying to get through the crowd with this guy who's looking for his brother. It doesn't feel like here's the camera on it's a really well done follow shot.
Here's the thing about that. When watching this movie, before that, one of the things that I remember seeing from, I don't remember what director said it, but he said a good one shot or good oneer is when you don't notice it.
Yes.
I didn't notice it until you mentioned it now.
Yeah.
So that's how good it was.
Yeah.
Fuck. I probably did at the time of watching.
Yeah.
But it would just flowed so well.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And then, like any good horror movie or thriller, you get the first kill out of the way fast.
The first, yeah, that was intense.
But
that
then
was really intense.
And then the fucking woo, man! I was like, whoa! And like the sound effects, the sound design in this movie was so good because. And okay, here's another thing: this movie is 100% predictable, but in the right ways. They foreshadow things properly. Specifically with the sound design, when he's walking through the kitchen and the woman is cutting things, you hear the and it's like, okay, that's coming into play right now. And then it does, and it's like, holy shit. Holy shit.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The object has been presented. How's this gonna unfold?
And the way they play with sound is really good. But yeah, that opening really sucked me in.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's go.
That was the hook.
Yeah.
The hook
and they did a great job with that because it sucked me in. And yeah, just the way it was shot, the music, the sound, everything was really well done. But yeah, and then again with some of the stuff, it's like to tell their story, they throw some things in, like random things that are kind of treated like throwaway lines, which should have been elaborated on or more. Like the one, like, didn't so and so say that they can mimic? And it's like, and that's just a throwaway line, and then you don't get it until later when Mia's mom's spirit is like, no, that's not him. They're pretending to be
someone that they know.
Yeah. And then right even there, like that throws the whole thing off. And then the way the movie
I can see that, yeah.
The way the movie ends with a little bit of, because you don't really know what happened. You can kind of assume, because the girl's mother had passed away, Mia's mom had passed away, and she had been able to make contact with this spirit that might be her mom, might be an evil thing mimicking her mom to get her to do things.
Demon.
We don't know. And they left that ambiguous, and I do like that. I do like, we don't need a reason for everything. Ian from 616 Entertainment, when he did his History of Halloween retrospective, he said the thing he loved about the first Halloween, and John Carpenter will talk about this, was that Michael Myers had no motivation. We don't know why he's doing the things he's doing. That stuff got added in later, but there's just something about not fucking knowing that is even scarier than knowing. And so I do like that they left things ambiguous here. So with the ending, when she's got the brother in the wheelchair and she's standing by the fucking freeway, and then it cuts and you see her fucking fly into but the mom spirit said something that triggers her to where you think, oh, she did it herself. And because the mom spirit said, do the right thing and then he'll be ours forever. And it's like, okay. But the whole time you're trying to get these spirits away from the brother because they're trying to keep him. And you have other fucking entities saying, you'll never be able to take him back. He's going to be ours forever. And then the mom spirit, the mom entity says that, and you see like this realization on her face. So we don't really know at the end, did she jump? Did the sister get there in time and fucking push her? We don't know. Because when it cuts to the sister, she's just holding the brother's body. So, like, it leaves it ambiguous. It's like, did she fucking have that realization and jump?
I think she.
That's what I did too. But I like how they purposely frame things to where you don't
even think about it like that. I didn't really.
Yeah.
I didn't really translate it like that. To me, I just thought, okay, well, she jumped. She figured it out.
Yeah.
She needs to die because he needs to be released from that.
And they had another throwaway line earlier where the brother from the opening didn't die. He got stabbed by his brother, but he didn't die. And he said, like, you know, the longer they're there, the weaker they get, and they eventually go away. And then they die and they're gone. And then even then, when she calls to talk to the sister, she says, yeah, he was awake for a little bit and seemed like his normal self for a little while. And it's like, okay, so that adds credence to what this dude just said. And so there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like, for the sake of speeding up the story, we need to get these couple lines in to tell the story. I don't want a 3-hour fucking horror movie or psychological thriller. I don't need that. But I would have liked a little bit more explanation on some things. But I do like, this is where I talk out of both sides of my mouth about it. I do like some of the ambiguity, but I would have liked
a little bit more.
Just a little bit more, right? Yeah. So that's what I was talking about when I said I have problems with it. But I thought it was really well written. I thought the acting was really fucking well done by everybody. Like, I hated their fucking mom because I think you're supposed to. But I fucking hated her. I was like, this is the worst character in this movie.
I think that was kind of the point. But yeah.
The living mom, not the entity mom.
Right. Yeah. And this could go with casting as well too, as we mentioned earlier. But yeah, everyone just felt so real and genuine, like actual people. And giving the credit to those directors for sticking with their guns, which is what made this movie, I think, even better, was because they're all felt like real people dealing with this. Like, it was fantastic. Yeah, the real quick, kind of going back to that ending part, seeing her walk through the hallways,
ending,
walk through the hallways and not being acknowledged, and just figuring out what's going on, even though she got up from the floor thinking she was still okay, but she's like, her body's there, and like slowly just darkness showing up, and then she sees the light,
the candle, you hear the from the match of the candle.
And then she's slowly walking in, like that whole entire shot of just going from there to the end, and then it flips the camera like that, and then you see the guy saying in a different language, talk to me. Like,
so good.
So good.
Really well done. And the other thing I really like about this movie is, writing wise, there's long stretches where there's no dialogue. It's just the shot and the mood and the sounds, like, and that really get you sucked in.
Relying on just pure visual.
Yeah. I talked about this when we talked about the Batman, and I said how sometimes directors will get up their own ass and they'll hang on a shot too long, just for the sake of being artistic. The thing I liked about this is there was always movement. There was always story being told, even if there was no dialogue or words being spoken.
Telling through showing.
Yeah, definitely. And I did like a lot of the cool things, like the twist with the dad. Like,
oh my god.
Like, and they did a great job of you not realizing which one was real and what wasn't. And then when you realize it and you see what's happening, and it's like, oh no, they're going to get her to fucking murder her own dad. And it's because those spirits had got to her. They were connected to her.
Yeah. They weren't letting go of her.
Yeah.
And oh my god, like, like that kept me guessing the entire time with the dad. And also kind of thinking too, like, wait a minute, was like he responsible then for killing the mother?
Right. And
so that's why it kind of like kept putting you on that, like, I don't know what those are called, like guessing which side.
And I like that they never really say, but they give you the idea at the end where she realizes, oh, this is not my mom. And you think she takes herself out so she doesn't have to deal with it anymore. And then, becoming one of the people that gets brought in with the handshake at the end. The thing that made this even more creepy for me, not only because I watched it at 1 a.m. last night, and I love that. That's how I watch horror movies. And I wouldn't even really call this a horror movie. There's some horrific things in it. This is a psychological thriller, man. This is the type of movie I love.
You would like it.
Yeah. And again, I applaud them for having an original take on something. And the thing that made it even creepier for me is that when I was a kid, my mom had these ceramic hands. They're just all white ceramic hands.
What the fuck?
That like stood like this, and then she had these ceramic masks that sat in the hand. They were like stands for the hands, for the masks. These ceramic hands. So like they didn't have writing or symbols all over them like this one in the movie. But immediately when they're like, oh no, it's just a real hand that's dipped in, like we always used to joke, like that's a real hand inside of a ceramic casing. It's the creepiest shit, but it wasn't creepy when I was a kid.
Right.
It was just like art decoration my mom had in the house. There were these ceramic hands that sat like this.
Imagine watching this as a kid.
Dude, it would have been the same as Chucky with my buddy. Like, or the Puppet Master. Like, it would have fucked me all up if this came out when I was a kid. But yeah, like, so my mom had these really, they weren't hilarious. Creepy then, but now they're creepy ceramic hands that held ceramic masks that were like Harlequin or gesture face painted,
yeah.
But they were all white, and then they had like painting on them. Like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, the masks creeped me out. The hands didn't at the time, but yeah. But now,
I'll look those up.
And dude, she had the creepiest shit, but it wasn't creepy because it was just what was in the house. Like, I didn't see it as creepy then. But now looking back, I'm like, yo, my mom had some pretty fucking creepy shit in the house. I think she would really like this movie, by the way. I think I need to pass this on and let her watch it because it's really well done.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film. A24 actually put out a box set pretty much that comes with the hand. I think it was very limited edition.
Go fuck yourself with that. No, thank you. And I like adding mysticism to an inanimate object like the Ouija board and stuff. Like, it's a modern, like, it's a take on a Ouija board, and I think that's really entertaining and interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that was a good pull there, because I was not even thinking that it could be something like that.
Yeah, I did like the Flatliners reference because they kind of do a similar visual with the spirit taking over the body kind of deal. That was the other thing I really liked, was that when they start to get taken over by the entity, the makeup and effects that they used were really subtle, but also really jarring to where it looked like the people were fucking dying.
Like still in the state of death.
Yeah.
The makeup on it just was terrifying as well.
Yeah, and then the makeup on some of the entities was pretty fucking gnarly too. Like, really well done. And even though I fucking hated her, the actress that played the mom, played Susan, I think the mom's name was, right?
Or
Sue. Either way, she was really good because I fucking hated her out of the gate. Like, she took her script and really fucking ran with it. Yeah. And then the actress that played Mia was very, very good. The only one Sophie where I was Wilde. Like, meh.
Mia Sophie Wilde.
Yeah, was Jade. I was just like, meh, she's just meh. But she was fine. But compared to what she was, the other people she was around that were really fucking going hard with the acting, like really good shit.
Yeah, everything about this is really good, real entertaining.
And some of this shit reminded me of The Gate.
Oh, The Gate that you keep telling me to watch. Yeah,
you haven't watched that yet, huh?
Yeah, no.
Fuck. Okay, some of this stuff reminded me of The Gate. Like the hallucination of and Mia seeing the spirits outside of the handshake stuff. Like some of that stuff, and then like coming to and being the one doing the shit that she thought she was looking at.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I gotta watch the game.
She had the whole foot in her mouth, bro. She had that whole foot in her mouth. Ugh. But yeah, but some of that stuff, yeah, the gate, you got to see the gate. It's way hokier, but it's one of those things. It's again the idea of an entity crossing over and taking charge is not a new thing, but the device that gets it there can be original, and the story you tell around it can be original. And I think they did a fantastic job of taking a concept and making it their own, and making it feel original, even though it's not an original concept for a horror movie or a thriller. You know?
Yeah. Reason I'm on my phone because I wanted to check my sources before I say it.
Yes, yes.
But it does look like it is going to get a sequel. Talk to me to A24. This is from Bloody Disgusting. A24 okay. has ordered a sequel to the hit horror movie.
I hope they have a story to tell.
I mean, you kind of said it yourself too. I mean, there's the other hand out there too.
Yeah, but then it's just the same. Then it becomes Final Destination, where it's just the same story over and over again. Then it's just Saw, where
or maybe
it's the
more
same
of the origin of how the hand became.
That's the film. That's the film I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the movie I want to see.
Yeah, that's good. I would see that.
Yeah. Like I don't want to see Talk to Me just in Mexico or Talk to Me but in a different country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see another original story and using that same concept.
Yeah, a good origin story of the severed hand.
And while it can be construed as a negative, which, you know, again, I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here about it. I like that there wasn't a moment where they're like, well, you see, this is where the hand came from, and here's the backstory. Like, I like that wasn't there. There wasn't a fucking lore dump on me, but at the same time, would have liked
just a little
bit, you know. But if that's something they do in another movie,
maybe that's why they kept it that vague to make it the sequel.
Yeah, I hope these guys have more stories to tell. I would like to see, because they seem like very gregarious, outgoing dudes. I'd like to see what they do in a different genre. Like look what Jordan Peele did with his horror movies, and he's a comedian, and he's known for being a comedian or a comedic guy or a writer or actor that does comedy, and he came out and made two really fucking fantastic. And again, this is a new style. I think the Jordan Peele movies are not horror movies. They're psychological thrillers, man. And I always say, like, that's what I love about Silent Hill. Silent Hill has its scary stuff, its horror tropes, its gross looking things. But Silent Hill is a video game that story plays with your fucking mind from the moment you turn it on to the moment it's over, and even after you're long done with it. Then there's horror games or horror movies that pound the gore at you or the jump scares, and it's like, that works in the moment, but I never think about that thing again after, except for, oh man, remember how gory that scene was in whatever. Like, but with a psychological thriller, like a movie like Fallen, or, you know, or a movie like this that really fucking makes you think about things even after you're long done. A movie like Frailty that makes you think about it after it's over, and it still scares you even when you think about it. That's the kind of scary movie I like. And this, again, even with the and I didn't even have a lot of problems with it, but even with the problems I had with this movie, and it's kind of quick storytelling to get in under that hour and 35 or what, hour and 40 minutes, because anything longer than that in a movie like this is too much, you know? Like, I think,
they could have made it 2 hours and give you that lore dump.
I think scary movies and comedies benefit from brevity. Like, the longer they go, the more they overstay their welcome. And I think you stick right to that 90 minutes with those two styles. It's the perfect time for a movie. Hour and a half, hour and 45. Don't go any longer, because then you outstay your welcome. Then funny things stop being funny, and scary things stop being scary. You get in, fucking scare the bejeebus out of me, and you get out, and then you make me think about. I've been thinking about this movie all day, and after I got done watching it last night before I fell asleep, I was like, man, just thinking about this movie and thinking about it today, and really excited to come here and sit down and talked about it with you, because it's something that stuck with me. And there's not a lot of movies of any genre these days that I want to sit down and talk about after I've watched them. Which is kind of why we talk about older stuff most of the
time. I mean, we could go over the Jordan Peele movies too in the future.
Yeah, I need to sit down and watch those again.
Yeah. You still haven't seen Nope?
No, I haven't seen. That was the second one, right?
It's the latest one you did was Nope. Yeah.
So it was Get Out, Us, and Nope. Okay. I haven't seen Us or Nope.
Okay.
But I need to sit down and watch those again. Or watch Get Out again and then watch Us and Nope. But yeah, man, I think it'll be fun to get back into talking about some movies now. Hopefully this all this shit goes through or ends sometime soon. Because again, there was a lot of movies we wanted to talk about this season.
There's a lot of shit I watched.
Old movies and new, and like I can't wait for them to finally say, okay, it's over. Because I already got this planned. I already have this plan. I already talked to Rick about this. We're gonna do an entire episode where Rick just tells me about all the movies he saw during the strike.
Well, I mean, I could list off the movies now.
Well, I mean,
just the ones that I've seen.
I think it would be fun for you to give like quick reviews, and then I'll end up going back and watching some of these, and we'll do full long form episodes about them. But I like the idea of you just like, and then I saw this, and it was great, and this, oh, I hated that. Like, I like the idea of you just rapid fire going through some movies.
Yeah, because I have my letterbox here and I put movies I watched in 2023. Most of these are for 2023.
Yeah.
So far it looks like I only have 23 films.
Okay.
But
yeah, Talk to Me is great. Talk to Me is a must-watch movie.
Yeah, must watch.
It's not. I'm not gonna say 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, or anything like that.
I was gonna say must watch.
I'm gonna go back to what our original rankings were. Like our original rankings were must watch, rent it, avoid it. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
This is must watch. This is a must watch, man.
Must watch.
Any way you can. Tell your little sister so you can watch this movie if you have to. It's good. It's worth it.
Go find the ceramic can.
Yeah. I'll see if my mom has any pictures of those ceramic cans.
I'll post them.
And if she can send me some, I'll send it to you so you can put it in there where I was talking about it. It's fucking creepy. I know she still has the masks. I don't know if she still has the hands. Yeah. It's so creepy because they're all white and then like the nails are painted and they have like jewelry on them.
I think I've seen them at jewelry stores that they use them for displays.
Yeah. But like I said, these were just stands for her creepy masks at the time. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed that movie. There's a lot of stuff that's out now that I'm looking forward to finally watching and talking about once all this clears up. Like I haven't seen Air yet. I haven't seen Gran Turismo yet. There's there's some other stuff that I was gonna go to the theater for that, but it's so weird. I just don't like going to the theater. Let's see. Like there was some movies on that list. Like I haven't seen Oppenheimer. I haven't seen Barbie. I haven't seen
Oppenheimer either.
A lot of the big releases this year, I haven't seen anything new except this. And because I didn't have to leave.
You saw Mario, right?
Yeah. Okay, I did see Mario.
That's new.
Okay, that was this year also. This year's been weird because it feels like it's taken forever, but it also feels like
it's so short.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Like feels like Mario was 2 years ago. It's weird.
I still gotta see Saw X. I know it's gonna be trash, but I love the Saw.
Not watching that shit. That's so funny. I won't go on my Saw rant again. There's a clip you've probably already seen it if you've watched us.
I think there's a clip on
Instagram
or something. Yeah. Ahsoka TVs. I've been wanting to talk about that so badly.
I'm so over Star Wars.
The only reason my love for Ahsoka is because we get to see Chopper. We get to see all the Rebels crew. I love the Rebels TV show. But watching it which is kind of, I don't know if I could say this, whatever. Something we talked a little bit about on the thing that I did today. Someone, one of the guys said Ahsoka ran too long. What could have been a 2-hour movie? And I was kind of thinking you know what? You're not wrong, but I love these characters, so you're wrong.
That's
what I would have said.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You could not pay me any amount of movie to even care about all this fucking Star Wars shit.
But you were never really a Star Wars person.
Okay, see, that's the misconception, and I've said it here before. I'm not a Star Wars hater. I'm just not.
You're not a hater, but you're not also an obsessed fan like some of us.
Right. And I'm saying, like, y'all should be harder to please than the fucking garbage they're dishing you out. They're just fucking serving you up crusty brand imitation gruel. You're not even getting real gruel anymore. You're not even getting real gruel. You're getting the fucking knockoff shit.
I'll say this. I love the Obi-Wan series. Fine. It was good. It could have been a movie. So much so that someone actually turned it into a movie. They did their own director's cut. And basically did what I wanted to do with Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of made it their own. And I'm talking about Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yeah. Edited to make it a good movie.
And it was good. Like the guy's edit was good. Like it made sense. Like, yeah, this should have been a movie.
I'm gonna have to look that up and maybe watch that. But yeah, like the Marvels, like Disney is fucking up all over the place with this stuff, man. They've really ran these fucking beloved IPs into the fucking ground.
Sad thing. That's a discussion for another time. And I think for that discussion, we should have Wolf.
Oh God, no, because Wolf is the worst kind.
Wolf
loves everything they do, and like, cool, man. I'm glad you do. I'm not gonna sit here and shit talk you for liking what you like because I would never do that.
Like you could like it, but you could also be critical about it too. And I think that's kind of the hard part for some people.
I think Wolf is one of those people.
Okay,
it's hard for him to be critical.
Because like I could be critical about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, look how critical I was of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't. Tom Holland's not my Spider-Man. He's fine, but he's not my Spider-Man.
Right. I do like that. The people that were kids when the Raimi trilogy came out are now adults, and they're Toby's finally getting a little bit more love over the last few years than he was getting from people our age that saw the Toby Spider-Man and we're like, so I think maybe it's a combination of people like me were maybe a little overly harsh about Toby's Spider-Man and the way it was portrayed, which isn't necessarily his fault only. And I think there's
that was a true comic book form of Spider-Man in a sense.
Yeah. It was close. It was an era. It was an era of Spider-Man.
It's perfect, but it was close to the comic book.
And then, you fucking put that against the people who were kids when they saw it, and that's their Spider-Man. Like people like us that were kids with the animated series, like that's our Batman,
Yeah. Real quick, what is your take on Deadpool?
On the
just like the
movie?
Deadpool movies, yeah.
I like them a lot. I think that to me, if Deadpool would have come out when Ryan Reynolds was really trying to get it made, people would shit all over it. Because it is literally the comic book come to life on the big screen. And the few times that happened in superhero movies in the early 2000s, they got shit on because people were not familiar with the comic book properties. And they wanted summer blockbusters with these comic book characters, which they eventually got from Marvel. They got big summer blockbusters that had Iron Man and Thor in them. But they're just they're Michael Bay style fucking summer blockbusters. I still maintain that first Fantastic Four movie is a comic book come to the big screen. And it treats the property. I just watched
that and I would say yes.
Treats the property with a lot of respect, but the movie got no respect because the people that reviewed it didn't know anything about the comic.
And the campiness got confused with seriously, you're giving us this?
Yeah.
But it was a comic book take on it.
Right. And I still say, and I know you and I kind of differ on this.
I don't really care for it, but I'm not going to shit on it.
X-Men Last Stand is the most fucking comic book movie you're ever going to see, and people shit all over it because it was too outrageous. Why would he move the fucking... Because that's what Magneto would do. He would move the fucking bridge to get to Alcatraz. That is a panel from a fucking comic book if I've ever seen it, and everybody shit on that. Like that was the thing everybody hung their hat on as to why X-Men Last Stand was bad, and they're wrong. But yeah,
what I really liked though was Angel's story. The Angel story was fantastic in the Last Stand, which I kind of wish we got more of.
We've totally got.
We totally did, yeah.
What's really funny
it's the pent up of not being able to talk about this.
I feel like we ended the talk to me stuff pretty well.
Yeah, so I got a marker on that.
The funny thing about this is, I was just talking to Rick about this the other night, where we want to do a classic style of episode of this show. Like, and what I mean by classic is our old podcast, Some Shit We Like. When it originally started, we did it remotely, and it was 3 of us, me, Rick, and our buddy Bryce. And what we would do is we would all put down links to stories, whether it was like a tech story, a movie story, a video game story, whatever. And we'd have like, somewhere between 3 and 7 stories a week.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then we would all read the articles or watch the video, and then we would all talk about it. And the whole idea was only bring something if you have something to say about it. Like that was kind of the rule. Like, yeah, maybe the new trailer for whatever fucking summer movie is out, but if you don't care about it, you don't really have anything to say about it, fucking bring. And this is when it was just audio. So it wasn't like we were going to sit here and watch the trailer and then talk about it. It was all audio. So we would watch the trailer separately and then we would all talk about it, or we would read the story separately and then talk about it. And then so I was telling Rick the other night, I was like, I think we should do that. We should have an old school classic style episode where we bring some stories and then we kind of talk about them. And one of the stories, the thing that brought it on is something we were talking about last night. I don't want to get into because we're going to do an episode with it. But it's a really cool technology and music story. There's been a lot of really cool stuff like that happened like that this year, where it was like, oh, that's worth talking about, but I don't think it could be a full episode. And I know we always said we can do short episodes or long episodes, but it would be something like 10 or 15 minutes. And I don't think that's enough to put. So we put 4 of those types of stories in there. You got an hour, and there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of how our sausage is being made right now, if you care.
Yeah. And speaking of sausages, I'm getting hungry, so let's end this.
That could have gone a whole bad way.
That could have gone a different way.
All right. If you like what we're doing, man, please, pass it on to a friend. I'm not going to say the subscribe and like bullshit, but the thing that I will say is if you like what we're doing, share it with a friend. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we hope you have fun consuming our content, however you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you got something to say because we said something that you didn't like, let us know in the comments what you said. I won't see it. He will see it. But we'll bring those comments.
I did have a comment that was sent privately from.
Oh, you did? See, here we go. We'll read a comment
from Alex. Well, no, because I can't. It doesn't make sense to bring it up right now.
Okay, we'll bring it up another time.
I told him, he's like, "Do you guys do like questions and stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, we will. Whatever. Just send me a thing." And he's like, "Yeah, because this, and this." And I was like, "Dude, that's perfect. I'm gonna find a way to work that in when it makes sense." But
got a short movie on YouTube? Send us the link. Okay.
Yes. Do that. We'll watch it.
I love shorts.
But yeah, man. Good times. Good times.
That's going to be it. So yeah, thanks for watching. And we also want to thank for this wonderful music.
Nigel Bravo, Stoat Krow Komedy. Crow and Comedy, both with K's, on Bandcamp and YouTube. Check him out. Solid dude. Makes some awesome royalty-free music for us to use.
Yeah. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.